Today's video is brought to you by Sam and Abby from a Gate Moon Bakery. She gifted me this beautiful loaf of chocolate sourdough bread. Thinking to myself, man, that'd make a really good French toast casserole. So that's what we're making today. Let's cook, guys. Welcome back to the kitchen, everybody. Another episode of Cooking with Chef Threats. I'm Devlin. If you're new here, welcome. Today we're making French toast casserole. This is from one of my friends in the market community whenever I go for chef threads. And Abby and her husband, they gifted me this loaf of chocolate sourdough bread. So I figured, that'd make a really good French toast casserole. Usually whenever we do this recipe, it's usually with brioche bread, or you could use, any type of bread you'd like, but, chocolate bread, why not? So I'm going to start by just slicing this up. I kind of wanted to get 4 nice size slices so that way I can layer this casserole. And then the end pieces, you're going to see later on in the video where I'm going to chop them up into smaller pieces, and I'm still going to utilize them. And I'll just, see here, right here, I'll just chop them up, try to mix them in the corners and then the sides and everything. So that way they're still getting used up. Yeah, I'm just trying to fit it in our casserole dish here, those little pieces. Just kind of, build your dish from that. Typically whenever I do that, I kind of don't do that, but I didn't want to waste any of the bread. So we're going to make our custard now. And really all this is just some egg, some sweetened condensed milk, heavy cream, a little bit of vanilla extract, and then that's it. But the eggs will help bind, that custard. So there's our heavy cream. I'm gonna add probably about I think it was almost half of this can of sweetened condensed milk. Just a little splash of vanilla extract. And normally when I make a French toast casserole, I would put cinnamon in this mixture. But with it being chocolate, I kind of felt like that would have thrown the flavor off a little bit. So I did not add the cinnamon. So that's totally optional for you guys as well. So just pour your liquid all over in your casserole dish. Try and get it in all the nooks and crannies. And then also try to move, the bread around a little bit, so that way, all that liquid is getting incorporated underneath those layers too. How I'm doing right here, I'm trying to lift it up, and then you'll see we're trying to work that liquid in there. The best thing to do with this dish is once you wrap it, I like to do wax paper or parchment paper, same thing, and then foil on top of that. Nice, wrap it nice and tight. And it's ideal if you could let this sit overnight in the fridge. Full 24 hours, 12 hours is really good too. But I was pressed for time, and I let it ended up sitting for maybe about 4 to 5 hours. Because you just want all that liquid to, you want that bread to absorb all that liquid. All right, now we're going to make caramel. I'm going to I know this may be a little bit boring, but I don't want to fast forward through any of this, and I want to really keep the video raw and show you how to go about making fresh caramel, because it is a tedious process. So you see I put a full cup of sugar in there, and this is on like a medium heat. Medium to lowish heat. And so I'm stirring it with a whisk like every 30 to 40 seconds. Go back to your burner and give it a stir. Then let it sit and go back. And that's why I said I want to keep this video a little bit raw so you can see the process. See, now you can start seeing that sugar is starting to get broken down, and it's starting to turn that golden color. Sorry, my hand's in the way here, but and now you can kind of see, as soon as I get my hand out of the way, you can see how it's starting to get that little bit of a gooey texture. That is the sugars breaking down from the heat, and now you just keep slowly mixing, and then let it sit, come back, let it sit, come back. Okay, now we're starting to reach where all the sugar's broken down for the most part. Now it's a good liquid, a nice golden color like caramel is. And we're just about there. We're gonna remove it from the heat. Then once you remove it from the heat, add your couple pads of butter, and you're gonna see it bubble up like that. And this is what's gonna create the caramel. So add your butter in slowly, a couple pads at a time, and just constantly whisking it, whisking it, whisking it. And now you're gonna see it start to thicken it up a little bit here. Just keep adding your butter slowly. It may not look hot, but that sugar is like molten hot. So be careful when you're whisking this, because if you get it on you, you're going to burn yourself. Let that butter melt a little bit. And then I like to add a little bit of salt in my caramel. I mean, it's basically, salted caramel. And then at the very end, you're going to add a little bit of heavy cream. And then that's going to really bring a nice smooth texture to everything. And there we go. There's the caramel. It's not hard to make, but it is very tedious. You gotta pay attention to it, because that sugar could burn so fast. There you have it. Nice caramel color. Put it off to the side. Let it sit for a little bit. It will get hard, and then you have to just kind of heat it up just whenever we go to plate. But that's it. That's your caramel. There, you see how it's like on the whisk, but not like too runny? That's the consistency you're looking for. All right, now I'm going to make a berry coulis to go on top of our French toast casserole when it comes out. So you can use whatever berries you like. For this dish, I wanted to use strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. And so you get all your strawberries sliced up, and then in a mixing bowl, put in whatever berries you want. Like I said, I'm doing blackberries, then strawberries, and some raspberries. Add a little bit of sugar to your bowl, and then saran wrap it, put it in the fridge, and let it go. When you go to pull that back out, the sugar is going to help break down the juices and the flavors of the berries and create its own juice. You'll see when we go to plate that it created a very nice juice to put on top of our French toast. So the French toast was, I didn't get a chance to videotape it, but I did put it in the oven. It's a 350 degree oven, and this right here was in the oven for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then now I'm going to take the top off, put it back in the oven again for another like 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. Get a nice browning on top. We're going to add our caramel on top of that when it comes out. So this dish here, you really don't even need syrup. Syrup can be too sweet. This is a perfect blend of the flavors we're looking for. So just get our caramel all mixed up all over there. right, now here's that berry coulis I'm going to show you once we get our French toast plated up here. And as I'm pouring that on, you're going to see the juices come out of the mixing bowl. And I love that flavor on a French toast like this because it kind of helps break up the sweetness of the caramel. And that's perfect. A little bit of powdered sugar on top. And that's it, guys. Very basic French toast casserole dish. I love this dish a lot. It's very, very good if you're feeding a bunch of people for breakfast. But yeah, if you like the recipe, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. And if you have any questions on this recipe, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you. Wow, I think I just died and went to heaven. Thank you, Sam and Abby, for helping me make this wonderful piece of French toast casserole. I'm going to link their stuff in the description down below. If you guys are local, please give them a follow. And as always, guys, don't forget the threads.